Best scene, American Indian uprising. Fade in. Exterior, Stratford-upon-Avon, England, night. Holy Trinity Church, graveyard. The grave of William Shakespeare looms out of unearthly fog. Chiseled into the granite tombstone, this inscription.
Cursed be he that moves my bones.
Exterior, same graveyard, poor man's grave, night. Shrouded in misty shadow, a beggar-man grave robber, dressed in black woolly coat and rags, spits on his hands and hefts a rusty shovel. A mad dog howls at the decaying moon. Exterior, Fort Sill, Oklahoma, night of May 1918, Geronimo's grave. The grave lies below a cedar tree with hanging medicine bags and faded prayer ties. 4 young drunken National Guard officers, led by Prescott Bush, George W. Bush's grandfather, remove the headstone and pry off the lid to Geronimo's tomb. One stands lookout, hiding in the bushes by the road. They pass a moonless jug of whiskey round and take big swigs, gathering courage.
To the deeds, boys!
Another gulp of whiskey.
To the dark skirt of night.
All clear!
Shh! The ring of pick on stone and thud of earth on earth alone disturbs the peaceful prairie. Prescott Bush, 18, the shifty-eyed trust fund Ivy League preppy, digs. The 3 drunken pranksters take turns on the shovel. As their hands are so soft, they need to switch gloves with each new diggerman. The lookout slurs.
All clear!
EJ turns up a bridle, bits of a leather saddle, some pieces of the warrior's decoration.
Look at here, Prescott. The dirty murdering Injun's saddle and tack.
He digs with new fervor, and passes the shovel and gloves back to Prescott. Digging deeper, Prescott's shovel thwacks something hard. He passes up the shovel up to his buddy Neil, and digs with his hands.
Come on, let's dig up the bastard. Dig up the dirty redskin bastard.
Prescott pries out the skull of Geronimo. He raises the prize slow. All eyes wide. He holds it over his head.
Geronimo's skull, boys! We'll ship it back to the frat house.
Can't wait to be out of this damn hick hole and back to modern civilization. I'm done here. Let's get back to Yale.
With our new trophy, boys!
And they all yell and hoot in bloody, drunken triumph. They toss the skull round to each other like a basketball, and yell some more. Bits of flesh, an eyeball, and hanks of hair still attach to the skull as it spins round and round. Interior, Neil's dorm room, night. Neil burns off skin, eyeball, and hair with carbolic acid. It smokes and sizzles as the grisly flesh and hair dissolve. Neil laughs like a lunatic. Neil and Prescott pack some straw in a yellow wooden crate. They lay in Geronimo's skull and add more hay on top, and nail on the cover with a painted skull and bones and the address, The Tomb, Skull and Bones Fraternity, Yale University, New Haven, Connecticut. Exterior, railroad, day, 1918. A freight train roars around a mountain pass, blowing steam like an angry iron robot. Interior, boxcar, continuous. Boxes stacked randomly inside the rattling, dim-lit boxcar. One alone, a yellow wooden crate emblazoned with a skull and bones, glows in the darkness with eerie radiance. Exterior, New Haven, Connecticut, day, present, Yale University. A grim stone, windowless building, aptly named The Tomb. Big wood and iron door, thrice padlocked. Interior, The Tomb, day. Insert title card, Secret Society of the Skull and Bones. The room. Red velvet wallpaper. Candlelight casts creepy shadows on piles of human bones. Dozens of skulls line the mantelpiece. Bones, bones, and more bones. A shrine. German war memorabilia. Flags with swastikas. German Luger pistols, sabers. A glass case containing a shiny utensil with a plaque proclaiming it to be Hitler's fork. New inductees, tremble, covered in mud, sit up in their pine coffins. One snooty skull and bones patriarch reaches into a glass case. He snatches up the skull from a mound of turquoise stones and holds the skull of Geronimo. The skull glows with unnatural luminescence. With a sophomoric grin, he announces,
Being a skull and bones patriarch and therefore a superhuman, I, Knight X of the Secret Order of Skulls and Bones, do hereby order all inductees to...
The bones patriarch thrusts Geronimo's head high. He cackles corruptly.
Go forth and each bring us a skull!
He hurls the hostage skull of Geronimo into the air. It spins round and round, glowing grotesque in the din and perfidious candlelight. Exterior, New Mexico, present day. On a wooden stake, A post-it note flutters in the light breeze with the words, 1862, Chiricahua Apache Massacre Site. 4 archaeologists dig up remains. One archaeologist, wearing a white lab coat, casually dusts off and catalogs human Indian bones as if they were miscellaneous shards of pottery and places them in boxes labeled U of NM. A skull of an Indian child is casually placed in a box containing a child's small rib cage, arm, and leg bones. Scattered amongst them are Indian artifacti, arrowheads, jewelry, beadwork. All are catalogued, tagged, and placed in boxes. Exterior, desert, day. The vast whispering desert ripples in remorseless heat. Its citizens move slow. Bee, red ant, scorpion, lizard, rattlesnake, crow. Over a distant mirage, an eagle carves the infinite sky. In an ancient, compelling voice that resonates Indian days long gone,
Come, gather round. I will tell you a story about Indian bones.
in the far distance, as we zoom nearer, we see the lone figure is a weathered and wrinkled old Indian man who stands in a field of creosote bush, sage, and saguaro cactus. He is humble, yet noble, honest and proud. He wears a dusty, tattered, authentic traditional outfit. His dark leathery skin is accented with sparse but tasty turquoise on silver jewelry. His hair is long and graying and lifts lightly in the dry wind. His face and hands are a deep-etched road map of a long and hard life. He looks directly up at us with wise, reptilian eyes. At his feet, a stack of large weathered sheets of paper that reach almost to his knees.
These are some of the 750 broken treaties written by the U.S. government to our people, like this one.
He lifts one off the pile. He holds the yellow parchment. He reads the treaty aloud. Insert, Treaty of 1872.
Sovereign Treaty of 1872. No white person or persons shall be permitted to settle upon or occupy any portion of this territory, or without the consent of the Indians to pass through the same.
Insert, Map of Indian Territory protected by this sovereign treaty, circa 1872. Time transition overlay appears upon the map, projected behind the old Indian narrator. Over the map, we watch as an infestation of white settlers and covered wagons crawl into the region from east to west, leaving a funnel of dust. Then come the lumberjacks to log and clear-cut the forests. Railroads are built by the hands and backs of Chinese immigrants and black slaves swinging sledgehammers, hammering railroad spikes, carrying creosote railroad ties, as mule teams pull iron rails and bleeding hands wedge them into place. Holes are pickaxed into the rock. Sticks of TNT are wired to mason jars of nitroglycerin. Fuses lit and sizzle. Tunnels dynamited through mountains. The glistening transcontinental rails slice through the wilderness and lace the frontier. Herds of buffalo gradually thin as hunters shoot them with rifles for sport from passing train cars. Huge cattle ranches spring up where cows graze. Crops farmed. Minerals, uranium, gold, lead, silver, phosphates, copper are mined. Houses spring up like acne. Schools, smoke-barfing factories, churches, stores, billboards, gas stations, until a booming city sprawls.
No consent was ever given by the Indian people. In direct violation of Indian Territory Treaty of 1872. Welcome to Greater Albuquerque, folks.
A gust of wind lifts and curls the edges of the broken treaty parchments. They blow away and dissolve into desert dust. In the middle of the treaty area squats the campus of the University of New Mexico. Exterior, U of M, Archaeology Building, night. Lit up, cement Archaeology Building. Interior, Archaeology Building, night. Through the door, down the hall.